Lawrence!
Hello.
We are back. We are having a little bit of our summer breaks. We're having 2 weeks off in August as well. We had 1 week off last week, but we are back again, and it's about time. We're in an exciting time with the World Cup, for example, and there's some other
Yes.
tournaments which
Sorry,
are.
I'm just cleaning up some more tea that I spilled.
Oh,
So
that's fine.
that's always a good
Oh,
start.
it's here too. Oh, come on. What did
Yeah,
you do? Oh,
it is what
Lawrence.
it is.
I
No, it's
hope
all
you at
good.
home are fine.
Yes, I hope everybody's fine, keeping safe and healthy.
All right, so let us talk about chess. Here
Yeah.
we go. And there we have it right away. Mr. Duda knocks out Vidit. Yeah.
Yes.
Not that I'm against Duda. He's a cool player. He's there since such a long time.
Yes.
But I was, of course, I was voting for one of the young Indians, which we were skyrocketing in the last couple of episodes, how good they were playing. And Vidit, yeah, he did a very, very nice job. He went
Yes.
far, but he didn't manage against Duda. Now, did you see the game between Duda and Vidit by any
I have to
chance?
admit, I didn't actually see it. I know that's really bad. I've been so
Don't
busy
worry.
with other stuff the past week. I haven't seen the game. Looks like an interesting position, though.
Yeah, so let us take a quick look at the position, and I will ask you a bit about your opinion about it. Let's take a look at the game, because I really,
Okay.
really loved it. And there's this one critical point where I want to ask you which side you would prefer to be.
Let's see it.
Duda is white, plays
Yeah.
the Ruy Lopez
Yeah.
and all the natural stuff, which
And
we
we have an
used to.
Archangel. So this is important.
Yeah, so where's the Archangel starting? That is
Here,
C5?
so this move here, Bishop C5. This is the Archangel. One of my favorite openings, actually. I've played a lot of this from the black side, from the white side, and it seems that in the World Cup there's been quite a resurgence of this move. So
Oh, that is interesting, because Adrian Michalczyszkin,
yeah,
who,
Michash.
yes, who he made a couple of Fritz trainers for us, and he said that one of his Fritz trainer was the Archangel,
Yep.
or it was a 60 minutes, I'm not sure, but of course he said like many of his moves have been played in the World Cup, and he's very happy about this. Yeah,
Yes, it's
so
been a popular opening.
but
Yeah.
that's all he said, but I didn't actually know what was the move, and it is bishop to c5.
C5.
Now, a4,
Yeah.
the
Rook
rook
B8,
goes
C3.
there.
Yep.
All some technical stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just browsing through it a little bit. I think all of this might more or less be theoretically
Yeah. This
correct.
is kind of all. Not,
What I think is interesting is that I have the feeling that black has a little, it's a little crowded here.
that's
So,
right.
yeah, but that I
That
guess is part of it, and also it just looks like it because black can get out of this. Oh gosh, how about I'll put my microphone here? Jesus, I'm talking the whole time with the microphone too far away. I hope you
Yeah.
could hear me.
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, okay, cool. It's such a good microphone. I'm happy about that. Anyway, now you can hear me even better. So yeah, black is in a crowded position, but I think he can quickly get out of there when the right moves are being made. Now, white wants to stop black having any game here. This is why h3. And this is where I would, as a black, I would try to attack on the king side. Get my knight here and the queen there or something. But yeah,
Yeah, it's just a little bit. You're just a little bit too underdeveloped to
probably.
attack,
And
basically.
yeah, and all my pieces
Yeah.
are on the other side. So yeah, anyway. So
Yeah.
now
Now
it
we
gets
have a very
spicy.
interesting. Yeah. Now we have a very interesting, because if you go back, there's a critical movement here. So the move Bishop E3. So if you go back to one more.
Yeah.
Important to know that the move Knight takes E4 here does not win a pawn.
Okay, let's go there.
Move Bishop D5. This is the key idea in these Archangels.
Bishop d5.
Yeah, and you hit both knights. Very simple. And you win a piece. There's nothing more
Yeah.
to say. So, with the
Easy as that.
H3 Bishop B7, black is actually protecting the knight and threatening the pawn on E4. Now, the most classic move here is just to go rook to E1, protecting the pawn, which has been played. And I think there's been a fair few Caruana games in this.
Uh-huh.
in this line. So, but here Jan Chistov plays the move bishop e3, which is not a novelty, as we can see by the database moves, but apparently it is a slightly less played, but it looks like a very interesting idea. The question is, what now happens when black takes the pawn? Because black can take the pawn, and it looks as though there's a forcing. No, not this, but even though this is interesting.
You mean this one, yeah.
He takes the pawn as in the game, exactly. Well, white has got this move pawn to d5. This is this other idea. Now, you can't move the knight on c6 because you lose the bishop on a7. So your reply is forced, which is to go bishop takes e3. And now white can play d takes c6. And this looks like a very favorable result for white because, well, you can't take on c6, f takes e3, and you're a piece up.
Yep.
So you now have to play the move knight takes f2 as black. And it's here where, again, there have been a bunch of Grandmaster games, as you can see, where white plays the queen move. Yeah, he moves the queen. Very sneaky little move, hitting the bishop. And here, black can take with double check. Knight takes h3. The king goes to h1. The king doesn't go to h2, by the way, probably because king h2 is actually the most natural move there, because if we put the king on h2, really interesting position. 3 of black pieces are being attacked. The bishop on b7, 3 and h3. It's crazy. Also, f7 is very weak. It looks very, very dangerous. But I guess the problem is that black has got some move like bishop f4 check. Exactly.
Yeah, I think so.
Bishop f4 check, and now if king takes h3, yeah, g3 is probably the move.
I guess, yeah.
But I just want to illustrate king takes h3. Sure. Now you have to worry about bishop c8 check. Now h5. And suddenly black, if you go g4 is the only move, actually.
Yeah, I see nothing else, yeah.
Arne, you can go, look at this. G4, put it on the board. You can now go bishop takes g4, perhaps. Can you? Maybe. King takes g4. Queen c8 check. And that's going to be over. King h5.
Oh my God.
5. Queen h3, knight h4.
Maybe.
Yeah, do that. Queen h3.
Queen h3, yeah.
Yep. Knight h4, g6 is checkmate. Gorgeous.
Lawrence,
Lovely.
that's quite of a beauty. If that,
that's beautiful.
That is crazy. I just quickly want to put on the engine just if we have missed something.
Yeah,
G4?
so g4, maybe bishop takes g4 doesn't work because
no, probably not.
So
h6 g4.
He has king h4, right? It's still no. This is losing, but king h4.
Okay.
5 is still apparently good for black because the white king is just stuck.
Yes.
It's not clear yet. You have to go g5 check next. Okay.
Just to be sure, but that was a very nice combination nonetheless.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. So this is actually also everything that happened except...
so the king after king h1, the knight comes back to f2. Now you have to take. Now you have to take on f2. You take back and bishop takes c6, and we stop here just for a moment.
Yes.
So the material balance is a quite common one, a rook for 2 pieces, but black has got 1,000 pawns extra, right? I mean, black has got all of his pawns. He's got 4 extra pawns.
Yeah.
But white on this next move can play the move knight takes e5. This all looks forcing and computer stuff. So you can't take on e5 because of mate on f7. So now you've got this beautiful move, bishop takes g2 check. Look at this. And now look at this move here, the move king g1. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That if you take on g2 with the king, I guess the idea is black plays the move queen g5 check. King moves somewhere, let's say king to f1.
F1.
Yeah, probably f1.
And then the queen takes...
And now it's not mate. After queen takes f7, check king d8. And this position here is probably okay because black is able to exchange queens with queen f6 check on the next move. So, for example, if you move like...
This is
tough.
bishop
e6, queen f6 check.
Thank you.
And takes. Even this is not kind of completely clear to me.
Yeah, the king has to go out.
But it's a lot of pawns, and this rook is already behind a pawn. And pawns. It's a lot of pawns.
Yeah, but the king moved to g1, which is very interesting, very nice one.
Yeah, so king to g1.
Then
Black
there's
queen f6, and now white plays the move knight takes f7. This all looks completely forcing. You have to exchange queens now. Queen takes f2, king takes f2, and now the move rook f8, pinning the knight. King takes g2, rook takes f7, bishop takes f7, king takes f7, knight d2.
and
So
here it is.
whole line looks completely forced after the move 13 d5.
Yeah.
So this is 10 moves of forced, probably computer home prepared stuff. And after knight d2, I guess this is where Jan Krzysztof probably went a little deeper here. But I would say that, you know, the position objectively is probably holdable for black. Black has got 3 pawns for the knight,
Yeah.
with a lot of material traded, but it's easier to draw this with the engine on than over the board.
Absolutely. It's one of those unpleasant games where you know you have to put on the think tank for a long time to get into the juice. Now, what you just mentioned for preparation, that must be absolutely true, because when I looked on the board, and I think it was not even 15 minutes played, I saw this position. I was like, wait, did they start like an hour earlier or what?
Yeah.
No, because they just played down all their moves until they had this very interesting position. And now the question, which was destroying my little stupid brain for a long time, is which side would you prefer to be?
I would prefer to be probably white, because I don't think black has got truly legitimate winning chances. So I feel like the onus is on white to try and win this position, though I don't imagine being able to actually do anything here with white. I would struggle in such a position. Right?
Interesting, because I would rather be black here, I think.
Yeah.
I because I just saw those pawns on G and H look nice enough. Yeah, but apparently you're right. Also, the computer says white has the tiny little hint of an advantage.
Yeah, but objectively it should be a draw. Probably.
And it all boils down to the A6 pawn. In the end, this is the weakness, and white can take advantage of it later. So now out of a sudden they were thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Yeah. And for of course for a reason. Yeah, the rook goes here. There's the check.
Yeah.
And then the pawns move forward.
Yeah.
And now the knight has this position which he wanted to go with this check.
Yeah, it wants to put itself on b4. That's the ideal.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is clever, I have to say.
Yeah, and the problem is black would like to go c5.
Yeah.
To stop this, but then you weaken the d pawn
even more. Exactly. Yeah.
So white does get the knight to b4. The rook has to go to a8, I guess, or he went to e2 check.
So now comes the super interesting point here, because look at the computer, what it says.
Yeah, it doesn't like
King f3, King f1 are the suggestions. But
those are the logical moves.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think they're also okay. So white will probably also win with this. But an even better move, now the computer says, is King h1.
Interesting.
After calculating this for a while, the computer also comes to the conclusion, which was that the king is safe here on h1, on this back row. From all the checks, which are getting black more space to get more pawns, for example. Because if the king would have gone to f3, then the pawn c3 could have been taken with a check maybe, or there were more check shenanigans here. I think it is also better for white, but this is actually kind of the winning move. And that was a huge surprise for me, because when I saw that move, that was a killer. So let's go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rook takes b2 and rook a1. This is really instructive.
It is absolutely. Carsten Müller was analyzing this too, and that was pretty crazy move. Now,
rook a1.
So this, yeah, and rook a1 is also interesting that you do
Yeah.
not take with the
Exactly.
check here, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's the whole plan, because this is the pawn
Yes.
which will go to a queen.
Yes. Knight takes a6.
Yeah, c5 comes now, a bit too late,
B4.
all of this.
And now knight takes b4 and a6. Exactly.
And we have this crazy end position here,
Yeah, where
which
basically
looks this.
Duda had calculated rook a7 check correctly.
It's so crazy.
Yeah,
and
that
white,
the queen
white
and the
wins.
rook decide. Mhm.
White wins because they give a check first. That's how it is sometimes. You have 3 pawns more, but it doesn't matter. That is the end of the game.
Yeah. Mhm.
What a
Beautiful.
game! What a game!
Yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thanks for showing me that. Very important game theoretically as well.
Yes, good stuff to learn a bit. And then we have Karjakin versus Shankland.
Now, this game I did see. This was gorgeous because let's have a look at this position, the second one here.
Yes, here.
So, unbelievably, in this position here, Karjakin played the move rook takes g7 check, which is fantastic. My favorite rook sacrifice, rook takes g7. My favorite ever move, rook takes g7. I have good memories of it myself. A famous game where I played rook takes g7 check. And yeah, king takes g7 and knight g4.
Knight to g4. I didn't see that
Exactly.
game. Can you believe it? Because I was concentrating on the other game so much. Wow.
And now the queen is coming to h6.
Yes.
Knight is coming to f6, and it's all she wrote, basically. Wow. So Karjakin, who actually needed to win, remember, Karjakin needed to win in order to force a tiebreak, which will be today.
What a shocker.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a shocker.
Crazy. Yeah.
There was did you see the article in the New York Times about Karjakin?
I did.
Yeah.
About the GM title. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a very interesting, controversial topic.
It is, yeah. So it's for those who haven't heard about it, it's about how the people or how the young grandmasters got their GM title in such an early age, and that there is a probability that not all of this was in a very correct way, as you may say. And the reason this article was made because Abi
Mishra.
Thank you. Got a bit of
easier to say it like that.
Well, of course, he got criticized that he's the youngest grandmaster in the U.S. from a lot of sides. And yeah, anyway, that was also a part, but it didn't seem to affect Karjakin, that this article at all. He just played this fantastic, fabulous, beautiful game. Why is he so hard to beat? It's so crazy. If I would ever have a gay player I would be the most scared to play against, I think it would be Karjakin. This guy's just so good in so many ways, so often.
Well, I mean, he's definitely, he's not the scariest player to play against. Let's be honest. What Sergey has is phenomenal defensive skills, number one. But his greatest asset is that he's probably the calmest chess player. He's got extremely good nerves. Extremely good nerves. And this kind of situation, firstly, it's a match, which he's got a lot of experience in, playing a lot of matches. And secondly, it's a nerves situation, right? You're black, Sam Shankland, you need a draw to qualify for one of the best results of your career. Sam has had many good results, by the way.
Yeah.
Won the US championships. He had a fantastic Olympiad a few years ago as well, won gold with the US team, won individual gold as well. So he's had some major career highlights, Sam Shankland. He's a very, very, very qualified, good, hardworking, excellent player. But the advantage Karjakin has got is that he's got better nerves.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And in the other game, by the way, you're scrolling down here, was the one of Fedoseev Tabatabai. Now, I've played Tabatabai. It's only in Blitz, but I've played Tabatabai. And Tabatabai I didn't realize how young he was. He's only born in 2001. So he's like 20 years old.
Jeez.
rated like 2650 already. He's going to be a major part of the Iranian team. He made a big blunder in this position that you can see, rook takes g3. And Fedoseev then finished off with a nice tactic because he gave a check on e5.
Let me play the clip here because
this
you
is
cannot hear it,
interesting.
but you can take a look at home at Fedoseev, his reaction after the move. Yes.
Now this is actually very controversial, by the way. I want to just mention that.
Yeah.
That's something that is really poor etiquette, in my opinion. It's a big moment for Fedoseev, who knows he's going to qualify to the semifinals, which is obviously like many tens of thousands of dollars more and whatever else. So it's like a big moment. But when Tabatabai blunders this tactic here to basically fist pump mid-game is a really poor reaction from Fedoseev. And I think he probably regrets doing that. That's not something you really want to do.
Yes. So it was probably a little emotional outbreak, but at least he didn't go like, yeah, in your face.
But I mean, it's almost as bad as doing that somehow. It's almost as bad. I have to say. It's really not good behavior.
Interesting. I get your point.
Very annoyed. I would be very, very annoyed if I was Tabatabai and my opponent did that. Very, very annoyed. I wouldn't take that well at all. Just play your move and shake hands. This is a gentleman's game.
Yeah.
Save is through. So that's obviously huge. And Magnus Carlsen is through as well, right? Magnus Carlsen is through.
He did it, yeah. So now we're having the tiebreak between Karjakin and Shankland, right? And that's
Karjakin and Shankland play today. Carlsen swept through back row. Duda beat Vidit. Fedoseev beat Tabatabai. So it's going to be a Duda-Carlsen semi.
Yes.
Fedoseev will play either Shankland or Karjakin.
Yeah, so interesting. We will see about who won the World Cup next week. I mean, in favor, of course, is Magnus. To win the tournament.
Sure.
Who? Well, I'm still scared of Karjakin. I'm afraid that he will. I can't even.
He could win it. He could win this tournament.
Yeah.
He really could win this tournament. No, if Duda beats Magnus, I think Karjakin has got a good chance if he qualifies.
Yeah, good point. Let's see about this. Then we have also the women's section. Let's not forget.
Yes, let's not forget.
Because it's also pretty interesting. We have
very relevant.
Yeah, and I think most Kostenyuk is probably the only player who was not in the absolute high tier, but she's still one of the strongest female players out there, for no doubt.
I mean, she might not have the rating according to this, but she's well underrated.
100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen her play a couple of times.
Yeah, she's been 25-50. She's former world champion. Yeah. I mean, she's been at the top for years. She's got all the experience and good nerves, and doesn't surprise me at all that she's in the semifinals here. Goryachkina, of course, being the big kind of sensation of Russian chess in the past few years. Top Russian women's player, over 2,600. She's very much got her eyes on being the best woman player in the world and getting higher rating than Hou Yifan, for example. And then after that, who knows? Has she got the special sauce to be the next Judith Polgar? It's a difficult environment. It's tough to say. But anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
So Goryachkina is the big favorite still, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it was 2 draws. I didn't look at the games, but let's see. Maybe Goryachkina. I believe Goryachkina and Kostenyuk might even make it to the finals. Let's see about that. Hey, that was great. So we took apart the World Cup a little bit for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's take a look at what else happened in the chess world. Lawrence.
Well, there's the Biel tournament going on at the moment, which is, one of the favorites, the crowd favorites, and over the years, it's attracted many, many strong players. The tournament itself is super well run. The fact that it's been able to be played is great. And also, this year's been a bit different because there's been a variation of different formats. For example, there's been some chess 960, there's been some normal chess, and some top players are there. Gelfand, Vincent Kmar is there.
Here we have them fist bump.
Yeah, now Vincent Kmar aged a few years since I last saw him. I remember him as this kind of kid, and now he looks more like an 18-year-old or 17-year-old, which he probably is.
He's 17, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Although I think he's 16.
Is he only 16
yeah, I think
still? That's
because
crazy.
last year he was 15. So I think you cannot skip a year,
right?
Unless you're super
16.
Talented.
He looks very mature.
Yes, he is also very mature. He
Yes.
knows what he's saying. He knows what he's talking about in many ways. Yeah, and you were talking about it in your show too, right?
I spoke about it briefly in the show. Beautiful tournament. I want to also put a mention to Noel Studer, who's the local grandmaster. We see him here, who's writing some fantastic stuff at the moment. Really writing a lot of important blogs about chess improvement for advanced players as well.
I read it, how he became a GM, for example.
Yeah, how
right?
he became a GM, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, he's a nice player. And in general, they pick a very nice selection of players. Look at these guys here. You've got Sarin, Alexenko, Pichot, Kamsky is there as well, right?
Yeah. Top players.
It's a really nice selection of old and young, and stylistically very different players.
Nihal too. My God, is there actually a day where he's not playing a tournament? Jeez.
Oh, he loves chess. What can I say? All the young Indians, they play chess. They eat, live, and breathe chess, right? So
it seems so.
Yeah, it's nice. And then there's an open tournament going on. It seems alongside with. Salim Saleh, who's leading along with other top G. Look at all the Indians there. I mean, look at that list. Look at that there.
Yeah.
Ganguly, Murali, Pragnananda, Raja.
So it's not an Indian tournament, just to make this clear.
Yeah,
Biel is not in India.
Yeah, exactly. Naranian, Seturaman, Sadwani, Aravind, right? Kalyan, Vaishal. Look at all the Indian players on that list. It's a domination of tournaments. Now, if you play anywhere, you're going to play it against these Indians. And a lot of them, these guys, they're all experienced grandmasters. Yep. But the ones below are also incredibly strong. They are
massive.
They really, really. I mean, look at this guy, Raja Harshit. He's on 3 points.
Right? Wait, where was this?
Place 7.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
And he's just some 2480, and there are just hundreds of guys like Raja who are just super strong. They're a dominating force, and wouldn't surprise me if an Indian won that tournament, of course.
Let's see. I didn't hear much about Salim Saleh, to be honest, but he almost reaches 2,700. So
well, he was one of the first guys. I think he did reach 2,700. I think he was the first ever guy from the Arab Emirates in that region to reach 2,700, and Basim Amin definitely reached 2,700 from Egypt.
Yeah, exactly. That name rings a bell, definitely. Yeah, nice. Biel. And it's still going on, right? Or it's round 3 at the moment.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Yeah. So this is the overall standings. Karjakin in the lead, it seems, with 18 points.
Gata leading, exactly.
But Nihal up there. Vincent, come on. You can do it. All right. Yeah, I wanted to quickly also talk about the first Fontainebleau chess festival.
Fontainebleau.
I want to talk about it because I wrote I created this article. Danjajai Kadilka wrote it, but
Yes.
I published it. So I was obviously researching because there were so many pictures about this tournament, and yeah, it is in Fontainebleau, and Fontainebleau is a bit below Paris. And what makes this tournament very special is it's no grandmasters there, no international masters. The ratings are a bit over and below 2000, and there's like 6 different categories or 6 different groups of players. But of course, as you can see in this main picture here, the etablissement of this whole area, which is, let me show you a couple of pictures here. So this is all the players here, a couple of impressions, young ones, old ones. This is the one who's the organizer, Adrien Lambert. And look at this.
Yeah, it's beautiful, huh?
This is the Fontainebleau Castle, a castle with over 1,500 rooms.
Amazing.
And also basically rebuilt or refurbished completely by no one else than Napoleon Bonaparte.
Right.
And here he signed the treaty, the adaptation, in this very room.
Beautiful.
And here he has 2 of his own probably chess sets, because there's still speculation that he was an avid chess player.
Yes.
There's even games those quick games. I don't know if it's a hoax still or if it's absolutely real, but he played a couple of games, it seems.
Why not?
And this was his throne room, and actually it was the throne room for the other kings of France back then.
Amazing, huh?
I mean,
it's always a pleasure to be able to play in places like that. Actually, I've had
100%. Yeah.
For example, from my own perspective, from my own experience, the one for me that is very special is the Simpsons in the Strand in London, in central London. It's called the Wimbledon of chess because it's where all the old aristocracy used to play chess in the late 19th century. And there was the famous Immortal game that was played there. God.
I think you mentioned this, yeah.
Yeah, God, I'm gonna get the
dates.
1851.
1851. Right. I would have said 1848 because I thought 1851. Anderson.
Yeah. Anderson, exactly. Anderson Kierzaritsky.
Yeah.
So, to play in such a thing really is a huge pleasure. So this looks like a lovely place. Great.
And the great thing is that now, of course, people want to play over the board. So
exactly,
you're searching for something special to go to. They had to do some heavy testing here and a lot of results, and it was a bit of a struggle. But of course, people go like, "Hey, I'll deal with it. It's fine as long as I can play and." Have this amazing tournament. So if you have a tournament in an area where you can see parts of this, oh gosh, and you like chess a bit, it doesn't even matter how you play. It doesn't matter if you win, if you lose. You're having a good time because that is part of the atmosphere, that you will meet a lot of people who will also feel the same like you. And then it's going to be enjoyable, interesting games, a good time, and a big pleasure of chess by not having a super stress of trying to win at all times where you and then my gosh. So I hope they will do this next year. That's something.
Me too. Looks wonderful.
Especially for me as a player with a 1900 rating. Would be nice to have some good games.
Give it a go. Why not? Try and win.
Next year. This year, no traveling.
No traveling this year. Okay.
Still too crowded. Probably everybody wants to go. I don't know. I don't want
That's
to
true.
to go here. Anything else or?
Not really. I mean, just a very quick mention to 2 players. Gregory Kaidanov, who won the US Senior Championship.
Good point.
Beating Larry Christensen in a tiebreak playoff. And also to Hans Niemann, who won the junior championships. My favorite player of the moment, basically, Hans Niemann.
I
Very,
think
very entertaining, young, strong, very, very articulate, and he's got the talent to be sort of 2,700. He's already 2,600 now.
yeah.
He's definitely got the talent to be even greater than that. And I'm going to be watching him very, very closely. Really looking forward to seeing his progress. Hans Niemann.
Absolutely strong player. Yeah.
The guys in St. Louis did another phenomenal job covering that tournament, and suggest you guys have a look at the recaps if you can.
So, okay, yeah, perfect. Wonderful. I also want to mention one thing, and then please remind me. I have to come back to Hans Niemann too, because there was one thing in particular. Svetlana is still in the Ukraine, and I made a special of her smart moves. So she's my coach and your coach at home. And we have our coaching part where she's analyzing her World Cup game against Karina Shivka. But she also made I made an interview or kind of a chess journey report where she was sending me all her pictures and impressions from Serbia and Russia. So it's really a treat to look at it. Actually, it got more views than all the other videos. And I was also blitzing a couple of games with her afterwards. So at the moment, she's playing in a Ukrainian IM tournament, and she's actually crushing it.
Wow.
She's the lowest rated there, and she's on the 4th place at the moment. So go
Fantastic.
Svetlana. Quickly, what did I want to say? Hans Niemann. So there was one part, I'm not sure if you have, I'm not sure if you even talked about it, but there was one scenario where he was outside, and I don't know all the facts about it, but he was outside and he wanted to join a tournament because there was a chess tournament at the moment.
Right.
And he was asking how much is it, and he said that's $10.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you know that I'm a grandmaster." And he said, "Yeah,
right.
But grandmasters normally get in for free."
Right.
And the guy said, I understand, but it's for a good cause, so sorry, we would have to charge $10." But Hans said, "No, I'm sorry, bro. I've been working hard for it for a long time."
Yeah, I agree with Hans as well. I don't think any grandmaster should have to pay to play a tournament.
It's interesting, exactly. I agree too. But then on the other hand, what of course the problem is, if there is a tournament where there's amateurs and players who do not know about this particular thing, that there is a grandmaster and you would have to play, and then it's a charity organization, then of course it gets to a misunderstanding, and then it's the question, come on, it's for a good cause and stuff like this. I understand both sides in this particular case, but I also understand Hans' point. But he got a lot of criticism because they would say like, "Come on, it's just $10." But there is this part where you're working hard.
Yeah,
you kind of gave up lots of your teen years to work hard, to be disciplined, to participate, and you're not in the top 10 or top 20 or let's say top 50 in the world. So your complete income of chess, that's a different story, of course. So by just saying, hey, it's just $10, well, $10 might be a lot actually. You don't know that particular case.
There's that, but it doesn't really matter if it's $10 or $50 or $100. I think it's a principle thing. I also understand both sides, especially if the money is going to a good cause. But the Grandmaster title is very special, and I think charging Grandmasters to play, I think a lot of tournaments should be welcoming Grandmasters as it's an honor for a Grandmaster, especially a young Grandmaster, to join. So it's an interesting topic. It's not it's not the most controversial thing out there.
Yeah, I got you.
But anyway, Hans is doing fantastic work.
Now I know your main motivation. You want to go to all those tournaments for free when you have your Grandmaster.
Yeah, that's title. Really what I want. The moment I get it, I'm retiring, buddy. It's over.
Yeah. You think so? Is that
probably?
Will you?
Yeah,
really
I'll probably hang up the boots. Yeah.
No,
Play a few rapid and blitz, but
then I don't want you to become a grandmaster. I want to
well,
enjoy
maybe I'll.
you're a big personality in chess. It's fun to listen to you and see you play too. So
Maybe I'll play some league games or something. We'll see. I got to get it first, right?
okay, yeah, but I'm still very confident that you can do that. Okay, guys.
Let's see.
Lawrence, that was fun. That was very interesting. We see each other next week. Thanks everybody
Indeed.
for joining, for showing up, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it too. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Yeah, take care, guys. Bye bye.